Hello everyone, this is Mike Yurigan at Golf Brevard Inc. at the Habitat in Spencer, Holland. We're at Habitat today. We just aerified our greens on the front nine, the putting green, and I thought we'd have a little fun today besides giving you a bunch of boring things that are going on at the golf courses. Besides, they're doing great and we appreciate it. I thought I'd just give you a quick little 2 or 3 minute, it'll probably end up being longer than that, maybe a little instruction on some chipping and some putting. If you watched the golf tournament this weekend, the BMW that was at Cays Valley, Cays Valley is a fantastic golf course. Actually, one of the first pros I ever worked for, Dennis Sadisher, is the director of golf there, and Dennis was at Bent Pine when I was there in my misspent youth, and we had a great group of folks there. We had Bobby Bird, a friend of mine who is in Vero Beach now, who's running big shots, and Kenny Perry actually was working in the summer before he got his tour card. So in those days, we were out playing golf at 5 o'clock instead of cleaning carts and picking the range. But that was kind of a fun little time in our lives. And Kenny obviously went on to have a fantastic career on the PGA Tour and the Champions Tour. So golf brings a lot of us together, and just thought I'd give you some goofy little things that maybe you could try to work on. I am on the Callaway staff, and I've got some interesting little quick things to go over. I'll try to go over them quickly so it doesn't get too long or boring. But I just got a new putter, and I played with it yesterday in a tournament. I ended up playing with Bob Kamarinitz and Chuck Nebels and my friend Mel Fulbright down south at Sandridge. We had a little tournament for the Indian River Golf Foundation, and Chuck's a retired professional. Bob Kamarinitz was at Sandridge for, I believe, almost 30 years. And so it was kind of fun to get out and to see the guys and have some fun and try to raise some awareness for junior golf in the area. So with the putter, you can see it's got 3 dots on the lines, and you'll see a lot of these putters. They were talking about it on the PGA Tour radio this morning about how the players are going to more of a mallet because there's less manipulation. I've always putted with a blade in my career, and as I would practice, now that we've got lines and everything on the golf ball, when you practice, real simple, line the stripes up to where you want the ball to go. Obviously set your putter behind the ball where the lines are, and you can get a really good visual reference of how you want your stroke to look. And it's no different if I take my wedges. I happen to have 4 wedges, and they're 56, 52, 48, and obviously my pitching wedge. As the lofts have gotten stronger over the clubs over the years, the typical sand wedge was 55, 56. You see, I even think Phil Mickelson even had a wedge in his bag that was somewhere, somebody said it was like 80 degrees, which I wouldn't be surprised at Phil and his incredible short game. So same thing when you're setting up to your shots, when you're chipping or you're around the green, you can put your stripes down, line it up where you want to go, set the club face down, take some practice swings over top, and just have some fun with it so you can actually see the ball flight. You can see the stripes on the ball, the way they're going. And what I did when I was actually playing professionally for a while, I would take all my wedges and I'd start 3 feet off the green, and I'd go back to 6 feet, 9 feet, and 12 feet. And obviously when you're on the edge of the green, you can use your putter. You could use a 7, 8, or 9 iron. You could go all the way back. You know, you see a lot of people pick up their sand wedges and take too much loft, and then they duff it. And the sad part is we watched Bryson DeChambeau yesterday be right off the edge of the green, and you know we would call it a little chili with cheese. He hit it about 5, 6 feet, didn't get on the green, ended up making bogey, and eventually ended up costing him in the tournament. But Patrick Cantley and Bryson are going to be a great addition to the Ryder Cup, so it's going to be fun watching them at the end of September. But the professionals create their own little images around the greens, around what shots they like to see. You see a lot of the putters being used around the greens because the tour courses that they play, they're shaving the sides down. There's a lot of slope. You'll see a lot of putters. You saw Patrick Cantley using more of a mallet like I have. Obviously Bryson has that long putter up his arm. with a loft on the putter that goes from 4 degrees down to 1 degree. So, and, you know, and the mathematician that he is, it's really exciting to see these guys trying different things, because like we were talking about this morning on the radio, a half a degree, a half a shot can be the difference in having an opportunity to play in the Tour Championship and having a chance to win, you know, $15 million, which is just incredible. You know, our local guy, Billy Horschel, won it several years ago, and it was great seeing him to do that and bring some awareness to our area here in Grant-Valkaria, and obviously at Spessart Holland. So when you go over to the two courses, you know, Spessart has a big acre putting green over there. You can go over and you can try this little drill, but I would hit 2 or 3 shots from the first spot with your pitching wedge, or, you know, you could start with your 7, 8, or 9 iron. It doesn't matter. But when you get the visual reference and you see the ball going, and all of a sudden what you'll find is your shots, which I have a tendency to use around the greens, a little bit more as a 48 degree. Line it up, give myself a good lie. I don't want to chili dip this on the video here, but I line it up. I get my position, my grip with both hands. Obviously my scoring lines on the club face are perpendicular to the lines on the ball, and when I set up, I get comfortable, my hands are slightly ahead, and then I just make more of a putting stroke. And Caleb will be the one to have to admit that ball was hit. The lines went perfectly straight, and I got to see where the ball landed. Now, if I went to a lower loft, if I throw my 9 iron at it, as opposed to my 48 degree, the 9 iron has got around 40 degrees of loft in this set that I have. I'm playing with the Apex Pros. It's my 9 iron. I hate to admit I've gone to graphite shafts and a little bit weaker shaft. And I'm going to hit and try to make exactly the same setup. Grip, hands are slightly forward. Club face is perpendicular to the lines on the ball. And all I'm going to do is try to put a little putting stroke on there and have the ball come off low and see if it hits the green at a different place. And obviously it did, and it rolled out a little bit. So those two balls, if I walk it off, I'll be off camera here for a second. 1, 2, 3. Those two clubs hit 9 feet apart from each other, and I'm hoping that you see it on the video that they actually, the stroke was very similar. So those are some little tips that you can do on the green. Last, and not to bore you anymore, you get closer to the green, you want to use less loft. So if you got a 4 or 3 degree lofted putter, you start with your putter if you want. You get back a little farther, you add a little bit more loft, you add a little bit more loft, and then obviously when you get farther out from 50 to 100 yards, you're going to do the opposite. The loft's going to come out of your hand. You're not going to use your sand wedge all the time. You might go to a gap wedge. You might go to a pitching wedge. So work on that. Less loft, more loft. As the farther you go out, you're obviously going to put less loft in. And from the professionals I've worked with in the past, being involved and having a great opportunity to work for Arnold Palmer years ago, you know, we used to go down the driving range and we have challenge matches on wedge shots. You know, just to throw some great names out there, Mark O'Meara is in the Hall of Fame. We won 2 majors in the same year in 1998. He won the Masters, and then at that time it was the British Open. So anytime you can see or pick your brain, or you pick my brain, or you want to come out, see your PGA local professional, man or woman, LPGA professionals. There's a lot of very skilled people out there that can help you with your game, and this is just something just to have a little fun with. But we'll hope to see you soon. We have our 1977 special at Spessart in the month of September, in 1991 here at Habitat. And just want to thank all of you. We've had a tremendous year, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you, and make it a great day.